The Mandela Effect is one of the oddest conspiracy theories out there. The name of the theory dates back to 2010, when numerous people on the internet falsely remembered Nelson Mandela was dead. It widely believed he died in prison during the 1980s. Mandela was actually freed in 1990 and passed away in 2013, despite some people's declarations that they remember clips of his funeral on TV. False memories, alternate universes, time travel, or something else. Join us as we go deep on the weird and crazy world of the Mandela Effect.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, I'm Sai and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the channel which features podcast series on all sorts of subjects, with shows and series on mental health, football, films, TV, wrestling, music, serial killers and more, including a brand new series which is entitled Unscripted and Uncensored, where we have no run through, no script, no censors. You guys send the questions and subjects, then me and a guest will talk unedited and unprepared. We've new guests each week and we release 3 shows per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so be sure to check them out. All our shows are available in a video format at youtube.com at Ace Podcast Nation, and our audio versions are available at all the usual podcasting sites. And you can find us facebook.com Acecast Nation and Twitter at Acecast_Nation. So to join me today as we take a trip down the rabbit hole of the weird and wonderful world of conspiracies is my co-host Rhys. Welcome, Rhys.
Hello, Si. Good to be back again, mate.
Yeah, it's a weird one tonight, mate. It's just odd. So, as usual, disclaimer: before we head down the terrifying road to conspiracy theories, I want to point out that just because we discuss a particular theory doesn't mean that we believe it to be true, agree with the point of view, or in any way think that's how it went down. We are simply going to discuss the popular conspiracies and the evidence which is championed by the people who believe them. So, Mandela Effect is a weird one because I didn't really know anything about it until a couple of years ago. And like when I first read about it, I was like, I don't really get this. Like the Mandela one, I was kind of remember him dying in 2013. And then I was thinking about it and I was thinking, hang on, did he die in 1980s? Do I remember that? But apparently there was another South African politician who died around that sort of 1980s point. So I wonder whether that's what some people get confused with. But
I can't see it because the name and the face is too recognisable for Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, and it's like there's I couldn't find it today when I was looking, but there's I read like a couple of weeks ago someone had done like a massive poll of like thousands of people, and the percentage of people who remembered it like that he died in prison was really high. So it's not like just like 1 or 2 people.
Yeah,
and like
I've seen it before. It's crazy, mate, because I'm sure he died in prison.
It's weird, isn't it? The one that got me, like, I was sort of reading through them, and some of them are more like American ones, so they don't really, like, there's one, the Bernstein Bears or the Bainstein Bears or the Berenstain, yeah, and like
Berenstain.
Yeah, that one I don't really remember that, so like I haven't got like a.
It's more of an American one. That.
Yeah, so like.
Remember Billy Graham?
Yeah.
There was something about his funeral, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't people?
So he died relatively recently.
Didn't
people remember seeing it on TV. Seeing it on TV. That was one which I come across. There was a couple which really got me, and like we'll go through some of them now. But there was the one which I mentioned to you before, but she's the Queen at the end of We Are the Champions. where they
Yeah.
sort of go, "We are the champions of the world," and it finishes. Apparently, that's not a thing, but like I remember that like vividly, and like that's when everyone, like if you're pissed up and stuff, and that song comes on, and everyone sings that at the end, like to finish. And apparently, that's not a thing. So then, when I saw that, I was like, "All right, okay." I was in it then, and I was down the rabbit hole, as it were.
Yeah, I've seen Mighty Ducks, mate. They sing it at the end of the world. That's how it finishes.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, mate. So let's go through some of them. So remember Rodney King, I think he was beaten up by some policemen, wasn't he?
Yeah, started the LA riots, didn't it?
Yeah, in 1991.
Yeah.
But some people have got memories that he actually died during the attack. That one, I think, for me, I just remember him being
He did die.
having the chicken. No, he not in the attack. I don't think
Serious?
he just got. I think so. I'm pretty sure he just got tuning. Like,
I
might
thought
be
that's
wrong.
why the riots all kicked off, because he died from the beating. Because I don't mean it funny, the cop
Yeah,
people daily in America.
I'll have to check that now because
I thought
I
he
thought
died.
he got beaten up, and that's what I mean. It's so weird.
Because
Like
I
when you
can
start,
remember that. I can remember the stories of the riots and everything, like and seeing footage of it and them looting places, all of it. It went berserk.
yeah, I remember the riots, and I remember like the video of him. No, he died in 2012, and that's what I mean. They'd go straight
Okay.
away, like
I'm
it's wild.
convinced he died in that, mate. I'm convinced.
So that's a good start. This is one where there's another one. So Sinbad, like the actor or
The
whatever.
comedian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he ever did he ever star in a movie where he was a genie, and it was called Shazam?
No.
No. See, I remember that. I remember him in the purple,
Wasn't it Shaq?
purpley blue, sort of purpley blue
What? Wasn't
genie
it Shaq,
outfit.
the basketball player?
No, mate. I'm convinced. I remember him in like he had like a waistcoat and a hat.
Yeah, I'm sure it
And
was Shaq, the basketball player.
no, mate, no way. Let's see. So I'm gonna post when I put the video up. I'm gonna post loads of. Yeah, definitely, mate. See, 100%. I'm convinced he was a genie.
It's Shaq,
In
isn't
the
it? Plays that one.
1990s, 1990 movie which was called Shazam, and it starred Sinbad as the genie. But apparently, like I say, it didn't happen. Wasn't a thing. It's weird, mate. Weird. So
I
we'll
don't
go
know.
through them.
I don't remember that at all. See, I remember Shaq. Remember Shaq, the basketball player?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember him being in a movie where he was a genie. I'm sure he was.
See, I don't remember that. I think I would remember it because he's so big. Like he's massive, isn't he?
I need to go look this up.
Right. There's no movie with Sinbad as Shaq, which really bugs me, like because I'm convinced of it.
Ah, the one with Shaq was called Kazam,
Right, okay.
1996.
So weird, mate. So we'll go through some. I just picked out like a load of sort of Mandela effects, and then we'll go into like some of the theories behind what's causing it or why is what it is. So another one is when you're looking at the Ford logo, like Ford cars, there's like a curly bit on the F, but some people claim that wasn't there originally and it's been added like over the years. However, it's been there since like the early 1900s. But it's difficult because like to see that you have to see the two pictures and see how you remember it. But
Yeah.
it's basically like a curly sort of F on the Ford sign. So I'm not 100% sure on that one.
It's not even
There's
ringing a
obviously,
bell. I don't even remember seeing a little curve on it, to be honest, mate.
see, that's what I mean. There's people remember it, and then you got like the Snow White one where they say mirror, mirror on the wall. But apparently they don't say mirror, mirror on the wall. It's something magic mirror on the wall. And it's like, no, they say mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all or whatever. But apparently it's magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
What is that, from the original story or from the Disney one?
From all of them. So, but it's weird because it's supposed to, like, the official story, if you like, is that it's magic mirror on the wall. But if the original, very original, like the German version, which was the original sort of story, it is translated as mirror, mirror.
Right.
But it's like in the movie, they say magic mirror on the wall. But to me, I remember it as always being mirror, mirror on the wall, always.
The wall.
What else we got? So we got Forrest Gump. Most people recall it as life is like a box of chocolate, but in reality, life was like a box of chocolates. Life is like, or life was like. See, I remember it as life is like because of the way he says it.
Yeah, life is like a box of chocolates, Jenny.
But apparently, life was like a box of chocolates, which doesn't flow the same.
No.
So it's
And
like,
everyone says that saying. It's the most well-known saying off the film, isn't it? It's what everyone says.
Oh yeah. Some people recall the United States being made up of 51 or 52 states and not 50. Like, I'm not very good at geography.
No.
So I couldn't even tell you. I wouldn't have been able to tell you how many states there were in America.
I just said, I've never known it above 50. Even that film that came out, The 51st State.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson and that. It's always been 50 states to me.
Yeah, I think I would have probably gone with around that. But I couldn't say for definite either
I'm
way.
sure I remember doing something in school where it used to be 49 and Hawaii was added to it.
All right, okay.
I think.
So another one, which is I find really interesting because it's to do with like historical sort of stuff, is when JFK got assassinated. Some people remember there being 6 people in the car, and some people remember it being 4. So you'd have the driver and the person sat next to him, and then Kennedy and his wife. Whereas if you go back and watch the video, it's actually the driver, someone else, 2 more people, and then Kennedy and his wife. Now, that's weird to me because when I think of it being 4 people.
I do.
But it was 6 people because
wasn't
that
it like
senator
a 3-road car
hit, didn't he? Yeah. And the guy gets that's the whole thing with the magic bullet, isn't it? That it hits the one guy, goes through Kennedy and comes out the wrong side or through the front of the other guy.
I think that we can put down to all the focus was on the shot, wasn't it? So
yeah.
What if someone says they're in a car, you don't think of a 3-road car?
No, and I think the way the windscreen comes is sort of the windscreen, and then there's like a side bit.
Yeah.
So like almost in the video, because the video is not very good quality either. It obscures the first row a bit, not obscures it, but like just blocks it off from you. So it's like in your peripheral vision. So I agree. You can kind of put that one down to like different angles and everyone focusing
your brain
on
just
obviously.
thinking automatically a car has 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah, and there's like there's loads with geography as well, like islands being in different places. So like Sri Lanka's, people think that Sri Lanka is on a completely different place on the map to where they remember it being. And a lot of places, so that rather than going through them, it's so far like the list of countries where people remember them being different or moved, or there being islands around them or something, is Andorra, Cuba, Denmark, Sweden, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, New Zealand, Oceania in general, like the whole sort of continent, Poland, Portugal, and Sri Lanka. And apparently there's references and stuff to in the movie Dazed and Confused relating to the things I not written it down, so I don't know what it is, which is really fucking handy. And you know, like I said, it's a never-ending list, mate, of these like just weird things which you
The thing
remember
is,
a different way completely.
the power of suggestion is crazy, mate.
Yeah, but like so
Like,
many people just
as an
remembering
example, like
things.
my kid's babysitter, I won't say what her name is because it's on it, whatever. But I kept getting her name wrong, and the kids had to keep correcting me what her actual name was, and I went, right, I've had enough of this. We're calling her Frank. And her mum's one of my good friends and her stepdad, and now pretty much everyone calls her Frank. And it's just,
Yeah,
it's
but like
weird how, like, even when I'm not there and things, they call her Frank. And it's not like we spend loads of time together or nothing. I mean, over the past 2 months, she's probably had my kids once.
yeah.
Everyone now calls her Frank, even people I don't know.
Mhm.
And that's all from me just saying it over and over. And now that's what everyone says.
It's been mad, isn't it? How quickly it takes over.
It can. It's like with that Queen song of the world. If one of the first ever films you heard it on was that, you probably remember it more than you would the song.
Yeah,
Because it's visual, it's everything as one. And someone probably, it might have even been Mighty Ducks.
yeah, I
And then,
suppose.
like, you think if you've never seen the Queen video and you've seen Mighty Ducks, that's how that song ends for you.
Yeah, but like I remember it, like Freddie Mercury singing it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm
Like
sure I can. What does it end on then?
just We Are the Champions. This all just plays out instrumental finish to the song, like, and that's what I mean. It makes no sense to me.
No,
So
because
here's one.
it finishes on the world.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's so many of them. So here's another one for you. You know where Freddie Prinze Jr.,
Yeah.
the actor, was with or is with Sarah
Yeah,
Michelle
Michelle
Gellar,
Gellar.
do you remember them having a child like around 2003, 4?
Yeah.
Oh, they haven't got a child, mate. And that's what I
What?
mean. So fucking weird.
They both took time off their careers to raise a family, didn't they?
That's
That's
what I
why they
thought.
stepped out of movies.
Let's have a look, shall we? Let's confirm it on another website. So I got that off the Mandela Effects. There's like a website which
Yeah, I
details them
thought
all.
they both like quit films for a bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. See, I was convinced they had a kid around that time as well, like 2003, 2004, something like that. Let's have a look,
What's
shall
wrong with
we?
it?
Nope. Personal life. Let's have a look. It's scintillating. This is it now, isn't it? Right. So they got married in 2002. They had 2 children born in 2009, 2012. So they have got kids, but people remember it like
Like I say, I thought they both
nearly
left.
10 years earlier.
When did you say 2000 and what?
2009, 2012, I think it was.
That might be
Um,
about right, actually, because I forget we're in 2020, mate.
yes, that's the thing. That's the other thing, isn't it? Is how quick time goes. You get confused. Yeah,
Because I used to like,
2009,
they quite
2012.
inspired me as a couple. Because I used to think, they had fame, everything at their fingertips, and they gave it up to raise their kids.
Yeah, so see, I thought that she took time off after the film in the first Scooby Doo film in 2002, and that's why I thought because yeah, I just it's a bit weird, like that you just can't, and that's what I mean. Like, if it was like just a few people, or if it was like just me who was getting confused with these things, then I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's just false memories and stuff, and it's just just your mind playing tricks on you. But it's like other people, like there's like thousands, millions of people around the world who are remembering these things, not like similar, but exactly the same.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me just think, come on, is there something more to it than that?
Yeah, there's too many people. But like I say, it's the hearing of that song. It could be we've all seen the same film. And people who haven't seen that film, I remember the Queen ending the right way, and it's obviously taken over our memory because we've sung along to it or whatever it might be, or a TV show or whatever, or maybe he did a live concert once and said it once or whatever it might be, but that memory has stuck with us
Mm,
because it was the best memory, should we say.
yeah. Yeah. It's a weird one. So some people remember Muhammad Ali dying in 2009 and not 2016. What's the other? Patrick Swayze made a full recovery after his like cancer announcement and stuff. But obviously he died in 2009. But some people remember it. So you know Pete Townsend from the Who.
Yeah.
Um, some people remember him spelling his name as Peter Townsend, and then other people remember it as Townsend, but with a H before the E. It's just like I couldn't say for definite. I do remember there being a H
I
in Pete
can't remember,
Townsend
to be
from the
honest,
Who,
mate.
but that's it. It's like some people don't remember some because they like if you're not into it or it's just not something that you're sort of interested in, then you're not going to know either way. So like
Yeah.
you could remember it differently, but you're not 100% sure because you don't follow that thing or whatever it may be. Some people remember Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith getting divorced 10 years ago.
No, I don't
But
remember that.
obviously they're still together. No, I remember them still always. I remember them being together forever. Some people remember 9/11 being on the 10th of September and not the 11th. But obviously that doesn't make any sense to me, really. Some people remember that think Thanksgiving being on the third Thursday of November, but it's been on the fourth Thursday of November since 1941. But some people think it was always on the third. What else we got? So you got Hurricane Katrina. Was it? Some people remember it as April or August 2005. Some people remember it as a different year altogether. And it's just it's a never end. This website's just full of like never ending different ones, and depending on your like your interests, like depends on how many you'll sort of get. Because if you're interested in certain things, there's loads. But then there's some with me where I get some of them because I'm familiar with the person or the subject, and then others I don't. I think it kind of depends. So before we go into the reasons and stuff and what people seem to think is causing it all, do you think it's a real thing, or do you think it's like just false memories and just people remembering wrong?
I don't know, mate. There's explanations to it all, isn't there?
Mm.
You know,
Here's one for you then.
each one
Can
can be rationalized in some way.
it though? Can they all be rationalized?
The thing is, all these people who believe it, if you kept showing them a newspaper or a cutting from the time that said different to what they believe, eventually their memory would change.
Yeah, possibly. So here's one for you. So you know the TV program and films, Sex in the City.
Yeah.
What's called Sex in the City or Sex and the City?
I thought it was Sex in the City.
Yeah, well, to me, that's what it is. I can vividly see the
Yeah.
the writing. I can and her saying it and her being the
I
writer because
guess it is Sex and the City then.
my missus loved it. She used to have to watch it every week. But yeah, it's supposedly a Sex and the City. So I'm not having that one at all. And there's loads of films where people remember the ending differently or all sorts of stuff. But in this page which I'm on now, they haven't got they say, or like it says, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there was different ending after the initial release, but it doesn't say what the ending is, so there's no point in me going into them because I can't compare.
No, I let that.
I'm just looking forward, just quickly flicking through before we move over, just to see if there's any big ones which we might. Bin Laden reported in 2001 in the Middle East and elsewhere with obituaries. So people reported his death with obituaries, but obviously he was actually killed in 2011 by SEAL team, whatever it was. Right. Okay. So you kind of think that probably could be, everything can be explained relatively easily.
Yeah, there's nothing that's come to me yet that like makes me think, no, I'm not having that. 100% this happened.
There's a couple where I'm like not far off from that, but yeah, I kind of like Mirror Mirror on the Wall is a big one for me, and Sex in the City, and the Forrest Gump one. What's the other one? Do you remember like so you know Looney Tunes, the cartoons? How would you spell the tunes in that? Would you spell it TUNES or TOONS?
TUNES.
See, I remember it being TOONS.
I
Because
see.
it
I
was
don't.
spelled different.
No, I never remember that.
And that's what I mean. It's so weird. But then I don't know where with that one though. There was the Tiny Tunes, like where they did the baby ones.
Yeah.
They used similar graphics and they spelt it differently, which makes me think that maybe it's just like a kind of like confusing it.
Yeah, I always remember it as
Me too.
TUNES.
So I think that one, yeah, I do tend to think that's probably just like the two sort of blending in together to form like not a false memory, but like just a confusion.
There is one in my head that sticks there. I'm sure when Toys R Us first come over here, the R was the right way round.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Could be.
I've never read it anywhere. That's just one that
Me.
sticks in my head.
Yeah. And like right. Yeah, so like, but you know, there's millions. I could go through them all bloody night, just going through them and trying to work out. It's not, you know, we can't really do anything one way or the other. So we've been through some. So let's get into why some people think that there's Mandela Effect is happening. So like the two sort of leading theories are that we're sliding between parallel or similar realities, or that there's like we're in some type of like matrixy type thing and this glitching out or whatever. However, you know, those are like massive, huge, complex sort of things, and you can't just sort of write them off in seconds.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the one thing I do think is say like we talked about like time travel and the Philadelphia experiment and that sort of stuff, is if say the government has been able to do time travel and they go back and they like just change little things here and there, and then the effect is because we don't know about it, so we just when stuff changes we just remember it as always being like that, because everything is like a ripple effect throughout life.
Yeah.
So like say, I don't know, they go back and they changed, I don't know, my brother from my sister, say. As soon as they make that change, all of my life becomes my brother and my sister, rather me and my sister rather than me and my brother.
Yeah.
So you don't know. And then I guess there's like a trickle effect then, that maybe they say that people, some people think that that's what the Mandela effect is where things have been changed, and then it's just like a what's the word? Like an after effect sort of thing, where certain things just haven't quite carried over, I guess would be the correct terminology. So like one of the theories which is doing the rounds quite recently is that there's like a nuclear research experiments have caused like the world to shift into an alternate timeline where Donald Trump has become president. And like it sounds really stupid, but some people genuinely believe that that's what's happened. And to back up their theory, they cite like the Mandela effect and the phenomenon that supposedly occurs when a large group of people believe something happened, and there's evidence shows that it isn't true. And I guess, like, to me, that kind of feels like they're just trying to reason with the fact that he got elected. But
mate, The Simpsons is predicting the future with everything. They get it bang on. Everyone should just watch that. We know what's going to happen then.
yeah, they always have, though, don't they?
It's crazy some of the things The Simpsons have shown
effect.
which has happened.
Oh, yeah.
Do you reckon Matt Groening is a time traveller?
He could be, couldn't he? I wonder, it'd be interesting. Like you get all the the old pictures of like Jay-Z back like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And it looks like him and stuff. It'd be interesting to see if there's one of Matt Groening, because that'd be, be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing as the Simpsons have just managed to like.
Do you think we've just busted him?
Just outed him.
There'll be a note soon. Yeah, this is the last season ever of The Simpsons.
Yeah. It's there's like, I kind of do think like this sort of time travel or alternate realities sort of clashing or whatever, it would explain it, but it's such a like complex and weird kind of subject that it makes it difficult to
before
like reason.
There was internet, telly, things like that, something like this you couldn't find out if it was true. You couldn't run a test on it. You couldn't do anything.
You don't know
even
how
when
long
it was just telly and radio, because I'm sure, didn't Sigmund Freud have something? Didn't he? He studied something similar to it. Obviously, it wasn't called the Mandela Effect, but I can't remember what his study was called. But he basically studied what the Mandela Effect is.
Well, like false memories and seeing if it sort of spreads or something like that. Yeah. Was it?
I remember there was testing as well after him. Basically, they made, I don't know what the number was. Say for argument's sake, they took 100 people. They made 50 of them watch a car crash, like all different car crashes. And then the way they explained each one, they'd use a different verb in it. Like, how fast do you think the cars were going when they smashed? How fast do you think the cars were going when they collided? How fast do you think they were going when they bumped? And by using the different words, more people thought they were going faster from the more severe word. And then at the end of it all, they asked them all one question and said, how much broken glass was there? And there was no broken glass in any of them.
Yeah.
And all the ones who were asked smashed, they were higher towards that. Yes, there was broken glass. Words can change your visual perception as such.
Oh yeah, and it's like how they do hypnotism and stuff, isn't it? It's just by like suggestion and
the human brain or the human mind is
and stuff.
Phenomenal, mate. And I don't think we'll ever know the full potential and power of it.
No, not for 100 years or so, innit? Not while we're here.
I'm a massive believer of power of the mind.
But do you not think as well, is that with that in mind, no pun intended, is that like, then what's to say that there isn't alternate universes, or that they've gone back and altered things in the timeline or whatever it may be? Because we've talked before about like technology and things like that, and things that human beings can achieve. So why, even though it is really weird and wild and crazy to think about, like, well, that's why it's happening, because of changes to the timeline or alternate, universes or whatever, or parallel realities and this type of stuff. Just because it's wild and weird and crazy doesn't mean it's not true. 100% not true.
Totally with you there, It could be unexplainable, but like the one that caused all this, Nelson Mandela. When we thought he died in prison, what sources did we have to get our news from?
Well, see, apparently it was on, like, the funeral was on TV, and it was, I don't know, like, people remember seeing newspaper headlines and reports, and
I was sure he died in prison, mate. But what if he actually did, but they thought this is just going to cause way beyond uproar, yeah? And then they
put in a
basically
little,
just changed history. They didn't go back in time or anything. Maybe he did die in prison, and same as Paul McCartney with the Beatles, we
they
can't
just
have
chuck a
this. They put someone else in his place.
little switcheroo,
You never know.
cloning, replacement. We had a show on that. It was
Yeah.
good stuff. But yeah, it's like
That for me is more believable than the time travel.
Oh yeah, I don't get me wrong.
Like
I'm not
time
saying that's
travel, I'm not buying it just yet. One day we're going to be able to, I think.
the thing which like always makes me think about time travel is if the government achieved it or whatever, I don't believe that they would share it, and because I think it's such a powerful thing for them to have that I don't believe that they would like tell the masses, and plus they wouldn't want the other governments and people to know. I just don't think so. Like, I think it could be like hundreds. Say they found it tomorrow, they conquered it and they got it working and they knew how to do it and they did it. I don't think that the public would find out for another 50 to 100 years.
I don't think we'd ever find out because the way the government do things, each time they cocked up the past, they just go back and try and change it again.
Yeah, every time we found out, they just go and change it.
Yeah.
Kill the person who leaked it and keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they got it right. Yeah, you're right there. So that's, I mean, they could have already done it. We could have already found out about it about 100 times, and they just keep going back and changing it. And that's what the Mandela Effect is. There you go, we cracked it. Game over.
Nailed it. End the show. I'm going to bed. That's it. Done.
Yeah. Mandela Effect is caused by the masses finding out about time travel. So they go
I don't
back.
think, like, I'm not saying Nelson Mandela dying wasn't a big event, but I think if they did go back in time and alter too much, there'd be more big events. Like, I'm not being funny. Since 9/11, if there was a government who could do this, it'd be the American government. After 9/11 and all the conspiracy theories and everything else, they must have thought to themselves, we fucked up big time here. We need to go back and change this.
Yeah, but did they though? Because really, they don't care about conspiracy theories because otherwise they'd be
something like 9/11 takes our focus away from the time traveling and the Mandela effect.
Indeed, absolutely. And plus they made a shitload of money from it, as we discussed in our show.
It's just like one big vicious circle.
Yeah.
We'll never know the truth unless we're there.
So the one theory I do find quite fascinating behind it is that it all started. So like 2010, it started, which I believe, I might be wrong, so I'm going to check the date, was around the time that they started banging particles together in the CERN collider. Like when they proper started doing the black hole experiments and all that sort of crazy
you've got
shit.
a thing against CERN, haven't you?
I really fucking, just because I just think they don't know what they're doing, like. So I just think
I'm scared of it because they're creating antimatter.
Yeah, they just
and antimatter and matter shouldn't exist in the same place.
Like, don't get me wrong. I understand that they know what they're doing.
No, they don't, mate. They're breaking the laws of physics.
No, but what I mean is they know, they understand it more than what I do. But
I fucking hope so, mate.
Sure. But like, So
no, all the
yeah, it
laws of
was
physics.
around 2009, 2010. They started like upping it to antimatter and matter and smashing particles together at ridiculous like light speed, and then the Mandela effect followed not long after.
The thing is, mate, before this CERN collider, there was loads of studies with physics where they basically said every single outcome was
Don't break the
we
laws of
can't
physics.
create antimatter. It's against the laws of physics. If we did create antimatter, it would end the world because there would be no matter, just antimatter. They say, like, you know what? Imagine a 2 litre empty Coke bottle full of antimatter. I remember reading a study somewhere before that this amount of antimatter could basically swallow the UK.
Jesus.
So look at it
Stuff.
that way. If it's something that swallows matter, there's no way they could keep it under control.
Yeah, I just think that
How do we know they're creating antimatter?
they're playing with stuff which is going to only end in
They're seriously trying to be God here. This is beyond, cloning and
forming
things.
babies and stuff, growing babies.
This is way beyond any of that. Cloning, things like that, I think is amazing. That is technological advances. But fucking with antimatter, it's like watching a fucking Marvel film, mate. It's the Tesseract.
Yeah, it's scary shit, mate. When people start playing with things, they don't have any concept of what they're doing. Like, and I get that they understand from a theological point of view what they're doing. They understand that they're moving these particles or these atoms or whatever you want to call them, like super fast, and they're banging them into each other and they're creating black holes. I get that they know what they're doing. I just don't think that they know the consequences of doing it.
Right. Has anyone ever been able to capture a black hole? No. So how do they know how to control a black hole? They don't. It's all theory. You can run every computer fucking program you want, but until this event happens, you don't know. Because they have never once in the history of time been able to control a black hole or even get close to one. Look at that one. Do you remember the pictures that came out the other week or the other month? They managed to basically picture a black hole.
Yeah.
It was basically swallowing galaxies. There was like
And
millions of
to
stars
create
in
one.
this black hole.
Yeah, and they want to just build one just to have a look like and see what
They
happens.
can't even tell us properly what a black hole is or where stuff goes when it goes in it. And they want to fucking make it.
So, like, a lot of people blame CERN for the Mandela effect, because of the way the times sort of link up as well, I would imagine. So CERN's experiments are intended to find illusory particles that could potentially show evidence of a multiverse, create tiny black holes, or discover dark matter. While all this sounds great, it also sounds like it's going to end the fucking world. What could possibly go wrong? Let's open up a black hole in fucking Europe and see what happens. That is like me getting a load of fucking chemicals and load of stuff, just all this crazy, just science equipment, and then just going in my kitchen and going, oh, I wonder what happens if I do this and this. Oh, fuck it. See what happens. And then just drink it. Oh, it'd probably get me pissed. See what happens. That's what they're taking. They're taking the fuck it, see what happens. That's their their motto. I bet it's on their fucking uniforms.
I'm all for
sleeves
mate.
and
That's
stuff.
pretty much my life. I wing it, mate. I'm all for that. Let's do it and see what happens. But not when you're creating a fucking black hole. And they're meant to be the greatest minds on this earth.
Right, no doubt they probably are, but I just think like some things are probably best like left alone. Maybe like quantum.
What is that fine line between genius and crazy?
Yeah, let's not like fuck with quantum physics and like what's the thing I read earlier? Quantum entanglement. I was like, oh, that sounds like complex. And then it said, but this could result in some kind of interdimensional entanglement. I was like, that doesn't sound so fun. Like, that sounds like something which could, like, you know, just make us all...
I'm waiting for Ant-Man to pop out of it.
Yeah, mate, that's an interdimensional entanglement. That sounds like what's going to happen when they create a black hole and we just sort of get clicked like fucking Endgame and we all just dust.
And then what happens if they create a black hole? Surely the more matter it sucks in, the bigger it's going to get. And a black hole can suck in anything. So as soon as they create one inside the CERN collider, isn't it going to swallow the CERN collider?
Well, I think that their plan is that they've got it contained or whatever. But like,
It's no fucking Ghostbusters, man. How are they going to contain it?
that's it now. It's scary shit, mate. So yeah, like people think that, you know, CERN is to blame because of the nature of their experiments. They believe that like space-time laws are being manipulated and broken, and probably not a good idea. But you know, and the other thing is that some people think is that because they're trying to prove like their alternate universes and the multiverse and all this type of stuff, it's that say there is a multiverse and or alternate universes, parallel universes, they could be completely fucking those universes over, where every time they run that thing or every time they try and like clash them together to break through and, you know, find these other universes, you don't know what you're doing. Like, there could be a world like ours which is just getting battered every time they turn the bloody CERN thing on. Poor fuckers. There could be like another version of you, mate, who's like got on his way to work and fucking gets sucked into a black hole Monday morning.
To be fair, mate, it's been a while.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's all a bit weird, mate. But there's I just found out. As I was just looking then, I just found a whole page of like conspiracies which are based on just the CERN collider. Might have to do one on that.
Oh, that's probably
I've read before there's some dodgy shit going on there, but like
the thing is, anything that's happened since when they started that, if there's no explanation, you can send it back to it. Because it's still unexplained. No one knows what they're actually doing there.
So they could be to blame. Bastards. You know, and then so like on this Mandela Effect website, then there's like people who've posted different sort of theories of what they think. And there's like a guy who says that he reckons that there's someone changing the past for financial gain or altering the past, which is causing rifts throughout time, which is causing the Mandela effect and affecting people's memories because they're making like too many changes or the changes or making changes at all. Maybe like time is just something that you shouldn't fuck with. And you know, maybe that's the thing as well, isn't it? It's like same thing with the CERN. Say, assuming they haven't created some sort of time travel device, is maybe like what's in the past is not supposed to be changed, and if you do fuck with it, like you don't know what it'll do.
Maybe it doesn't change in everyone's mind. You know, they still, like you say, because of the rifts and the alternate realities, whatever it might be. Maybe that reality doesn't change for everyone.
Maybe it could just like maybe the first time they go do time traveling, they'll change something, and then that'll be it. Everything will just go haywire because it's not meant to be. It's just one of those like things which is like set and it should not be changed. And that's how the world comes to an end. It's because fucking some Looney Tune American goes back in time to do some sort of test, like you know, brings back like a bottle of water or something from 1954 or whatever, And then next thing you know, every single person on the planet goes insane because they broke time. And that's my problem with the CERN people, is that I just think one day they're just going to break the world, or break the universe, or break the fucking reality, and we'll all pay the price.
Yeah, it's a scary thought, that thing, man.
So yeah, you can see why I don't like them. It's just, yeah, it's not good. And like they refer to it as the God particle, which, you know, fuck off, bunch of cunts. Yeah, not a fan. So yeah, that's the Mandela effect. Obviously, there's millions and millions of these Mandela effects. Some of them, like I said, will affect like you. Some of them you won't get. Some of them you will. Some of them you might be a bit like, ooh. Some of them you'll be able to explain away. Some of them you won't. But they, you know, they're easy to find. There's loads of YouTube videos and stuff on them. None as thorough and as pleasant as ours, obviously. And there's also a website called themandelaeffect.com, but not as good as pod.co/ace-cast-nation, because that's the best website. Yeah, so we'll be back next week with another conspiracy theory. Slightly shorter show today because there's not much more we can say other than CERN are a bunch of twats, and, you know, world's probably going to end when they create a black hole. Probably false memories, but, you know, it's fun to talk about. You can find Rhys on Twitter at SureCeltic. You can find us on Twitter at acecast_nation. Give the video a thumbs up and a like and a share. It's you'll find us on youtube.com/ace podcast nation, facebook.com/acecastnation. Come and say hi. Check out all the other shows. We've got loads of different series, loads of different subjects. Dropped one today, which was with Rodri Giggs, which was unscripted and uncensored, which was a lot of fun. I'm filming another one of those next Sunday, but the show will already be out by then. And yeah, come say hi, say hello, suggest a subject, tell us we're shit, whatever you want. And thanks for listening, thanks for watching, thanks for joining us. Rhys, nice one for coming on again.
You're welcome, mate. Always a pleasure.
It's always fun, if nothing else.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll see you guys later.
That's all, folks.
And sit down.